Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Barcast TV and to another episode of Barcast Daily. We've got another high level game for you to watch today, and before we begin, I'd like to introduce our co-caster, Navaya. Welcome back.
Thanks. Glad to be back. Always enjoy our cast together.
Yeah, I'd have to say the same thing. And hope you all enjoy these as well. If you do like these co-casts, be sure to let us know in the comment section. And without further ado, I'll introduce our players. Spawning on the left-hand side of the map, playing as the red pieces, it's Navaya. And his opponent, spawning on the right-hand side, playing as the blue pieces, it's Goopy, who is a very tough opponent, I'd say, and one of my favorite players. I really like his style. Not that I don't like yours, Coach. It's pretty
Oh
interesting.
no, no, that's fine. He is a tough opponent. He's actually really aggressive, and I like that. It's fun to fight against someone who's willing to duke it out to really dominate their opponent.
Um, so while this game's kind of getting underway, you can take a look. You did the little comm walk. This is very standard on Comet Catcher. You just cap the two mexes, add the LLT, and go for a vehicle factory. You don't really play bots, do you? Or is that just on Comet Catcher?
Not really. I find bots really weird. They take a lot of energy, and it's a different build order, and you have to micro them differently. And I just played a lot of vehicle versus Tag Rock. If anyone knows Tag Rock, I played probably over 100 games on this map against him, and we would just play armed vehicle against each other just over and over again. So I'm really comfortable playing vehicle, especially armed vehicle. So I know a little bit about how to play bots. I'm not terrible, but much more comfortable as a vehicle player.
Yeah, perhaps that's a conversation for a later day. Just kind of finding ways to cope, I suppose, with the bots. Like they seem weaker in certain matchups, and it's like, well, how do you overcome the mobility deficit? In relation to the blitz, like it can be very difficult to handle those unit accommodated. I'm not sure what the right word would be, but yeah, definitely a challenging matchup to say the least.
Yeah, I find for me that um, when you're bots against vehicle, you're kind of just surviving until you get your vehicle lab up. And I don't know if you can actually beat vehicle like just bots, like bots versus vehicle. At least on an open map like this where
Mm.
vehicle is so strong.
Mm. Yeah, something to kind of get into the lab about, but that's enough of that. Can probably maybe figure out some interesting questions to ask, perhaps, in your thoughts on this game. That's kind of why we wanted to cast this together. It's a little bit different than what I normally do. I mean, I surely would have grabbed this game yourself versus Goopy, but it's nice to kind of have the player here, so maybe I can find some instances in the game where I'd like to get your thoughts. And I suppose one for now is just your expanding style. I notice you're sitting in your main base with your commander and have these two initial construction vehicles expanding. Is that something you've kind of settled on yourself doing more often than like walking with your commander? We see, Goopy himself has just moved out of his main base with his commander and assisting the factory with the construction vehicles. So,
This conversation with several top players about calm walking, and a lot of them are convinced that calm walking is better. And I'm of the opposite opinion. I don't like my commander being outside of my base. I like his strong build power on my lab. And he's safe there. He's safe in my base, and it's easier for me to play. And I like to send these construction vehicles out, expand towards the front, where my units are. They're safe, they're protected, and I can really focus on microing my units when I do it this way. Whereas when you have your commander in the front, you always got to be watching, right? Because you could get sniped, 10 blitz, 10 pawns, and you're not paying attention. That can be the game right there.
a beamer turret.
Yeah, yeah. Anything you're walking up, three LLTs that you didn't know. I mean, it doesn't take a whole lot to kill your commander, really.
Yeah, and I will say to that, for those of you who don't know, the commander was recently buffed or changed, perhaps, and has been a little bit of a learning curve, kind of getting used to the new commander. He's a little tankier now, so you can definitely stay in battle longer, but he still feels a little soft when once you get into the mid game. Absolutely.
Yeah, the health regen uh, was disabled. He has the standard unit health regen, so he has a little more health, but once you get down to about half HP or a little less, he stays there unless you got something to heal him. So
Mm.
it's you got to be careful if you do take any fights with him.
Yeah, I'd agree. And you've got a nice little run by here. So shaving off a construction turret, a couple of LOTs, three mexes. So this is some great damage. I'd say that more than paid for itself. Was at five blitzes. So
Yeah, I think it was like 5 blitzes, and you see I got a couple here coming behind. I'm trying to snipe this construction vehicle, and I believe I get it. That's what I wanted to kill originally, but he had too many incisors there, so I sent those forward to bait him back to his base while I had a couple others coming behind to try to snipe that con. So just a little trick I pulled on him there.
yeah, while we're talking about incisors versus blitz, I'd just like to note the health and stats of these units and kind of compare them. The incisor has a range of 230 and has a oh goodness, I never pull up this menu. It's got 85 speed, 41 acceleration, and 70 turn compared to its blitz counterpart, which has 180 range. So a lot less range and is quicker, about 10 speed faster. So what are your thoughts on this interaction of blitz versus incisor?
That's funny because this is actually why I'm playing this game with Goopy. Because we were in a voice chat talking, and I said, you can't beat ARM with core vehicles. It's impossible. And Goopy's like, no, I disagree. Core is better. And I'm
Oh,
like, we can play if you want. I'm telling you, you won't beat me with core. And so that's kind of like a bet we made. And I find the blitz, it's not the speed so much as it's the acceleration and the turn rate. They turn so fast. You can see here this micro battle. My blitz are just in and out nonstop, and his incisors just can't keep up.
mm-hmm.
And it's just a tough matchup for incisors, in my opinion, versus someone like me who uses his micro to take fights. You don't have to play like this. You can play more defensively, and maybe in that case, incisors would be better.
Hmm.
But I like to really be aggressive, really micro, and I find the maneuverability just so valuable.
Yeah, it kind of gives them their strength over the other unit. Um, and I guess your comments on like the turn radius, you can kind of see how the actual turret moves in and of itself. So if like when you're taking these engagements and microing, it's like you can come in with your clumped up units, kind of shave off one or two incisors and turn away, and then suddenly you're retreating, he's chasing you, and then you're automatically at a disadvantage there. So and you're never going to get caught. Like you can always turn and accelerate and speed away from the incisor. So it's like you can pick the engagements you want to take.
Yeah, and on offense, especially because the opponent doesn't know where your units are going to go. He can only guess. And so if he's not microing constantly, paying attention every, half a second, it's real easy to lose him, to get your units away from his incisors and sneak off, two or three here. And so I think it's really tough to play this matchup. And Goopy, I think, does really well in this game.
Oh,
It really was a hard game.
that was a great trade right there. You kind of came in with some of these clumped up units, and I think that's really the mechanic that perhaps I need to get better at. Is just the more as a unit concentration or density is really where the DPS starts. The DPS of the blitz starts to get really insane. So we can see just how like clumped up you get these units before you actually go in and take
Yeah,
charge.
yeah. Here I kind of mismicroed it. I was trying to send them all in a line to overwhelm this little laser turret cluster he's building here, but I sent 3 of them ahead of the other ones, and it didn't work out so great. So this not great for me right here. That was terrible.
A little bit of a victory. I would say it's too bad. There is something to be said about having your opponent microing on his side of the map. I mean, obviously, it gives you the freedom to expand, tech, to do whatever you want. So, kind of a double-edged sword, perhaps.
It is, and you want to take good fights if you're on the opponent's side of the map. As you can see, there's all those wrecks down there. He's able to just reclaim them right up, and
Mm-hmm.
it's I don't know How much metal? I think yeah, if you look at the top there, he's using his metal really good.
Oh
So he's not
goodness.
sitting on a ton of metal. So him being able to reclaim that just really boosted his economy.
Yeah, I didn't quite notice that. You've got quite a lot of mass in the bank. Oh, excuse me, it's down here. So we have 45 to 34 mass per tick in favor of you. You can take a look at the statistics. You're about, was that 1,800 mass up? Not the biggest deal, and I want to say that little bit of a trade kind of mitigated the mass advantage, air quotes, you have on this metal produced. So,
Yeah, I never felt ahead in this game, to be completely honest. I was doing everything I could. I felt like I was as aggressive as I possibly could have been, and still I didn't feel ahead. Now maybe I am ahead, if you look at the stats, but I didn't
mm-hmm,
feel that way in the game.
mm-hmm. Well, surely you are after this little trade here. Looks like you're gonna catch two of these, perhaps. This LOT ends up going up. He's trying to get the repair off, but no. So the LOT goes down, and at least one of these construction vehicles is gonna be lost. So that was a great pickoff.
Yeah, I don't know if he expanded there on accident. Maybe he thought I wasn't going to notice that and sent those cons up there to maybe build some laser turrets and block me. But I spotted it and those cons died. That was a great pickup for me.
So back to like feeling ahead in the game or feeling behind, perhaps is that just a function of like, do you see Goopy as a better player than you? So it's like, oh, I have to like find my advantages somewhere in the game, or it's like I'm gonna be behind if I'm even, something like that, right?
Uh, I would say he's definitely a way better player than me. His play style. I mean, he's playing core against me, and as I said, I think Arm is just totally dominant in this matchup, and he's keeping me at bay. He's really doing well. I mean, you see here, I just lose my units for nothing. So he's playing this really well, and um, it's just I lost my train of thought there. It's just a tough matchup, and for him to be doing this well, I think is a testament to his skill.
Yeah, no doubt. Goopy is a very tough opponent. I would like to say this radar placement is insane. It got the Great Wall of radars here, the Comet Catcher. So just a line of radars across the map here. With the redundancy, I know you mentioned that in your video. You like to have some redundancy between these radar coverages. So if you lose one, you don't end up losing all of your vision, map vision.
Yeah, it's funny you just selected that radar at the bottom of the map. That I saw his units coming in, so I ran south and built a radar because he's going to kill the radar I have down there. So rebuild those radars so you can keep an eye on these guys where they're going.
Nice little bit of counter damage here. We see some incisors and grunts that have the same movement speed, it looks like, so they can kind of walk in tandem with each other, sweeping through this bottom left side of the map, shaving off a lot of economy, actually. So that was a nice little punch back there from Goopy.
Yeah, he actually kind of surprised me with this scout rush right here. He sent these scouts up top and he added grunts. I wasn't expecting grunts. I figured he would probably go like thugs and try to do like a thug push, but instead he made a lot of grunts and scouts to snipe my mexes. And it's hard to stop scouts if you don't have laser turrets.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's so frustrating, or it can be frustrating when you're 13 minutes into the game and a single scout just sneaks through and starts sniping your mexes. It's like, I thought we passed this stage of the game.
Yeah, that's my thoughts exactly. I'm up here where you see him. I've got my whole army up here trying to kill these scouts, and I'm just like, what is going on here? This is what I get for not making laser towers, I guess.
Yeah, the game is unforgiving to say the least. If your opponent's good enough, he'll definitely exploit you.
Yeah, and it's kind of what I'm doing right here. You see my medium tanks just coming in. You can't really stop medium tanks too well unless you're in position. You can just kind of run by. They're so tanky. And I didn't really get a whole lot of economy damage here, but it's you see now his units are there in the back. He had to chase me all the way back there to stop that. So that gives me time to recover, group my units in the middle here, and try to make another attack.
Yeah, it seems like, the farther you can kind of pull your opponent's army out of position, that just gives you time to set up the next attack, whether it's like you're flanking, it looks like this on the right side of the map you're kind of moving towards. the extreme right to get some to find that damage, but nice response from Goopy, kind of getting in position here.
Yeah, he definitely was reacting really well to everything I was trying to do. I never felt like I was catching him off guard. But time is everything, and I'm just buying time, preventing him from expanding, slowing him down, and just really trying to dominate the map. You see on the mini map that I've got almost half of my side,
Hmm.
or well, half of the map on my side expanded on, and he's only got maybe that quarter in the bottom there. So I was doing what I could to just keep him choked in that corner and prevent him from uh, getting any more economy.
Yeah, I definitely give the advantage to you in this game so far, or at this point in the game. Looks like he's got a huge Resbot, Resbot gang, kind of getting these medium tanks back into the fight. And I guess the one saving grace for Goopy is he has a lot of reclaim and Rex on his side of the map, so could potentially kind of get back into this game if he's able to capitalize on this. So we'll take a look and see how well this goes for him.
Yeah, and that's definitely one of the things I was aware of. I didn't want to let up the pressure because I'm like, if I just let him res all those units, I'm going to be in a bad spot. I mean, I've been attacking him the whole game, and all those wrecks are over there on his side of the map just
Mm-hmm.
waiting to be resurrected.
Mm-hmm. This could be a really frustrating thing in bar, and unlike other RTSs, how pretty much every unit can move and shoot. So it's so important to stay in front of or in between enemy units and say your economy or your production structures. And as soon as you kind of lose track of or they sneak by, it can be very difficult to prevent run bys from getting additional damage. So
Oh, for sure. Positioning is so important in this game. And it's so hard in 1v1. A lot of players maybe play team games and everyone plays in kind of their own lane, so you only have a small window you need to defend. But in 1v1, you got to protect the whole map, so to speak. So you have to really make sure your units are in the right place at the right time.
So taking a look at their positions here, we got a little bit of a fight. Scuttle here on the bottom mid side of the map. You have 16 tanks versus his. Take a look at, is that 8? 8 brutes and 3 stouts. He's got that mixed army because he's been resing some of your tanks. Um,
Yep, he's doing what you got to do. You got to res those tanks.
have another big stout force here. 18 stouts moving towards the center right, and I suppose those are going to be moving towards his main base. But looks like you're kind of surrounding his commander. Are you thinking you're going to get a snipe here, or do you know where his commander's at?
I can't remember. I think I knew his commander was there. I wasn't trying to kill it. I'm trying to force him to bring his units here, and now his units are out of position. And you see now I'm just coming straight to his base because
Mm-hmm.
he couldn't risk losing his commander, but that's not what I was doing. But he doesn't know that. So now I'm just sending all my units in, going straight for his economy because he's out of position.
Mm-hmm.
So again, this goes back to what we talked about at the beginning about having your commander in your base. It's just so dangerous if you get caught out of position with your commander, and it can be tough to figure out what you need to do in that moment.
Yeah, your commander is just comfortably sitting here in the main base, assisting
Oh
your
yeah,
land factory.
he's just chilling. He's having a great time over there.
Yeah, it looks like you're on the two land factory production. Interesting to see most players end up going a bot lab after vehicles to move into that two factory production. Is it's you just favored having extra stouts on the map, or what's your take on that?
I think I'm just lazy. I don't want to micro the res bots. To be honest, I'd rather just reclaim the Rex and make more units and not worry about the res bots. But it is not optimal. I should have just made a bot lab. I mean, you could actually maybe just have 3 labs, 2 vehicle labs and a bot lab,
Hmm.
and just make res bots and nothing else, and that would probably be good. But I don't like to micro them. Probably just laziness. But maybe I should fix that, huh?
I mean, this is the best T1 unit in the game, no doubt.
Yeah, it's pretty OP.
Straight up, yeah. So maybe some low hanging fruit for you to improve on. So that's it. Goopy calls GG, taps out. That was a great game, and I would say really well played by yourself. I really like this style of aggressive, I guess, blitz counterattacking or kind of sharking around looking for damage. Definitely your style, I suppose.
Yeah, this is my kind of game. I think Comet Catcher is probably the map I'm known for now, and I I don't play it a whole lot anymore because I've done it so much, but it's fun. I like playing. Goopy's great to play against, and hopefully I can play a lot more games with them. He told me he likes this map as well. It's one of his favorite maps. So who knows? Maybe a best of five, best of seven match between me and Goopy here in the future.
All right. Well, I'll be sure to cast it. And thank you all for watching. I'm gonna link in the description the replay card to this game and Novaya's channel. Novaya, you just started casting some games yourself.
Yeah, I've been doing some video commentary on some of my games or some games someone asked me to review and maybe give them some feedback. So if you're a 1v1 player or want to become a 1v1 player and you're looking for maybe some advice, I've got some videos with some tips. And if you want me to review one of your games, just let me know and maybe I can get to that for you.
Cool. Absolutely. Well, I'm happy to let people find you, and just want to say thanks everyone for watching. Subscribe, like to the channel, leave a comment for me, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.